Hey guys, Rolando Rodriguez here with xgains.com and
Alejandro Rodriguez,
where we got workouts that work, eats that satisfy, and everything else you need to reach your lifestyle goals. So today I'm going to be discussing what you see here, which is our 2019 ketogenic diet grocery shopping kickoff for 2019. Do this about once a year, and people seem to enjoy these videos, so I'm going to talk about some things that we're still purchasing, some new things we might be purchasing nowadays, and some stuff that might have, been off the list from previous years. Alejandro is going to be our Vanna White for today, right? And what we have here, starting from the front, the vegetables, right? Made a couple of video reviews recently discussing how people trash on the ketogenic diet, and pretty much people that don't know or understand what you eat on a ketogenic diet. They think that it's all this side and the back side of what you see here, but it's not, okay? It's just not meat, butter, fat, and bacon that you see in the front. So let's go ahead and start off with what we eat in terms of vegetables. Whole bunch of dark leafy greens. You're gonna see here we have, can you pick up the spring mix?
the replacement for spinach.
That is currently the replacement for spinach because I can't handle spinach in my stomach anymore. But got the spring mix, and I'll eat that with chicken, salmon, fish, whatever. Make me a salad, oil and vinegar as dressing, or some, more fatty dressings. You got to stay away from the sweet stuff and stay away from everything that says low fat and or reduced fat, skim. You want to go for whole fat products when you're following a ketogenic diet, and that goes for everything from anything that you buy that might be packaged and processed to the dressings that you buy. Whole fat, of course, no sugar added. But we got broccoli up in the front. We kill the broccoli. It's actually in a Ziploc bag because we opened it up. But we have been killing broccoli lately. Love broccoli. We got the bell peppers. You don't have to pick that up because everything might fall. But we got bell peppers in the front, onions. You can eat that. We also eat tomatoes. We don't have it here. But you got to be careful with the vegetables that have higher sugar or higher carbohydrates in them. So you can moderately eat those. But anything that's dark, leafy, green, you can pretty much go to town on when you're following a ketogenic diet. If you're following a therapeutic ketogenic diet, which means that you're following a ketogenic diet for a medical reason, you might have to even watch how much dark leafy greens you're actually intaking, especially how much protein you're intaking. But for the most part, everybody out there who's just trying to lose weight can just follow a basic ketogenic diet and make sure that they're eating foods that are low sugar. We got asparagus. We got Caesar salad mix. Talked about this a number of times on this channel before. My family loves that mix. We actually add an avocado and go to town on it. I don't eat the breadcrumbs.
Cheese.
We actually add some Parmesan Reggiano cheese. We'll get there. Brussels sprouts in the back. Alejandro, you want to lift that up for him? It's actually frozen Brussels sprouts, and we can get the frozen broccoli too from Costco, and it just lasts longer for our family. We eat a whole bunch of it, but the thing is sometimes you might open the bag for whatever reason, since it is fresher and it's not flash frozen. It might go bad by the time you eat it. So my wife actually prefers to buy the broccoli frozen and the Brussels sprouts frozen. In terms of Brussels sprouts, if you buy them frozen and you're going to make them, they do come out most of the time a lot more soft than if you were to buy them fresh. I personally prefer them fresh because of the firmness when you do cook them. But some people will defrost it and say they can get past that. The thing is, my wife works, I work, and she's normally the one that's cooking. And we like to do stuff that's fast, easy, and still very tasty, healthy, and following the ketogenic diet. There's no reason why, if you're on a budget or if you don't really have time to cook, you can't. I don't know why I put air quotes over time because some people really don't have that much time, but there's no reason why you still can't eat a ketogenic diet. Let's continue. We got cauliflower rice that's in the back. Guys, make sure when you go to buy cauliflower rice that there's no sugar added and or other vegetables, if there's a medley, that have a lot of sugar in them, because you could be easily going over your carb intake for the day, especially if you're following a therapeutic ketogenic diet. Also, cauliflower pizzas out there.
We got a coupon for that at Publix.
here's the thing though, they're not always what they snuff up to be. Some of them are full of carbohydrates, or they might have 1/3 less of what a regular pizza has in terms of carbohydrates. Be careful. Just because it says cauliflower rice or cauliflower pizza crust doesn't mean that you're not going to go over on your goal in terms of carbs for that day. To continue, we got some green beans up here in the front. There's a Cuban dish called carne con habichuela, meat with green beans, but it's sort of like a carne con papa, which is beef and potatoes, but I'm not eating the potatoes, so she throws in the green beans in there. Something else that's dark and green, but not technically a vegetable, right? It's a fruit.
This is also technically not a vegetable.
Oh, there we go. The peppers up in the front. So let's say we're just going to continue with produce.
Okay.
Continuing with produce, we're going to go to avocados. Love avocados, of course. Avocados these days are becoming more synonymous with the ketogenic diet than the bacon, which is a good move because bacon was more of an Atkins approach. On top of the fresh avocados, we have holy moly guacamole, because sometimes you buy an avocado and it's not ripe. I like that guacamole, and we'll put that in the Caesar salad if the avocados aren't ready to go. In terms of avocado, quick tidbit that I love is the fact that if you leave an avocado that's not ripe outdoors, it'll ripen pretty quick. Now, once it's ripe, quickly put it in the refrigerator, and that bad boy is going to last for a couple of weeks. It's pretty impressive how long they can last as long as you get them in the refrigerator when they are ripe. We're going to go to sort of the dairy products. The cheese, which is also nowadays associated heavily with the Atkins and or ketogenic diet, but some people get bloated when they're eating dairy products. I, thank God, do not, so I don't really have to watch my dairy product intake. We got various types of cheeses. We got cheese whisks, which I've talked about before, talked about it in the previous egg diet video. That's delicious. That's delicious with the avocado or the guacamole. My wife's guacamole is much better than this guacamole. Sorry, holy moly guacamole, to be calling you out like that, but my wife's guacamole is, in my opinion, is insane. The cheese whisks are delicious with the guacamole. Then we got moon cheese. This is a product that a guy I work with, actually the boss of the engineering firm I work with, found those and brought them to me. They're delicious. 100% cheese. They have cheddar cheese, but they also have pepper jack and Gouda cheese.
Gouda cheese is the best.
There you go. I think pepper jack's the best. But the thing is, Costco only sells the cheddar cheese, and it's pretty expensive. And then if you go to the Moon Cheese website, they tell you they have them, available everywhere, but the pepper jack and the Gouda cheese are just available in small bags. So it's hard to get Moon Cheese, fairly cost effectively. We got cheddar cheese. If you don't want to have your Moon Cheese, you could always make cheddar cheese chips. This is delicious. Insane. Show them. Pimento cheese with jalapeno. My sister-in-law says that is amazing on a burger. I've never had pimento cheese on a burger, but that pimento cheese is delicious by itself, just eating it straight from the jar and or with some scrambled eggs. We also got the goat cheese in the back. We'll put that on top of steaks, do like a chicken brine. I don't know if you guys have been to Carrabba's. You get some sun-dried tomatoes, some goat cheese, and I'm sure there's something else, butter, lemon butter maybe. I don't know. My wife's not here, so she can't help us out. But we'll have that recipe shortly for you guys, because you put that goat cheese on a hot piece of meat and it melts and it's really, really tasty. In the back, we got mozzarella cheese. But here's the thing, guys. Whole milk. It's hard to find, but Sargento's got it, and they had it at Publix, and I think they sell it at Kroger as well, but whole cheese. That bad boy melts better. Normally when you melt mozzarella cheese, if it's made from skim, in my opinion, it's sort of, once it cools off a little bit, it becomes pretty plasticky. The whole cheese stays very smooth, very creamy. There's no comparison in my opinion for it. We got cream cheese in the back. Cream cheese is cool. You utilize cream cheese, mozzarella cheese, cheddar cheese to make various types of bread when you're following a ketogenic diet. For the keto-safe breads. We got Parmesan Reggiano.
The block version.
We have the block version, and we have the
pre-shredded version.
Same thing, but block version versus pre-shredded, because, of course, I think everybody likes the block version better, but sometimes the kids got to feed themselves, and Alejandro can handle shredding the cheese, but the other younger kids will just,
They don't even like this.
They don't like the block one?
They don't like this. They don't like Parmesan Reggiano cheese. I just prefer not to shred it.
Ah, well, there you go. But they like Parmesan, so they like the other one,
they
the
don't.
Cilio. The Cilio?
Cello.
Cello. We have that too in the refrigerator, but the bag is completely destroyed. But that's Parmesan cheese. But you guys like it better. It's like the grated cheese that you would buy, I guess.
It's not Reggiano. It's not Parmesan Reggiano. It's just Parmesan.
It's not that a Reggiano. But then we got brie. My wife puts this on salmon, which you won't see in the meat section because we destroyed our salmon last night. And we're going to save a couple of dairy products that are in the back. Save that for last because it's my Shakeology. So continuing, we're going to talk about proteins. Right here we have Chew Toy. Hey, Chew Toy. Here, toss that over there, please. You guys know I follow a ketogenic egg fast from time to time. And here are the cage-free eggs from, where else? Kirkland. That's mainly where we shop. And I will eat eggs a whole bunch. Eggs, though, a lot of people think, oh, it's a great source of protein, which it is. In terms of the protein that you can utilize in an egg, I don't know if you know this, but you can almost utilize all the protein that's in an egg. So, great source of protein, but also a great source of fat as long as you're eating the yolk. You take the yolk out that bad boy, you're taking out the cholesterol, you're taking out the fat, you're keeping the protein, but following a ketogenic diet, guys, we gotta hit up the fat. We got the infamous bacon. Alejandro doesn't really like bacon.
What?
Just kidding. They love bacon with a passion. But honestly, how much bacon do I eat on a regular basis?
I don't think I've ever seen you eat bacon.
Well, that's not true because I do eat bacon.
Oh, you ate it the other day, but you don't eat it the way we do.
But that's the whole thing. I don't eat bacon as often as people think that people are doing when they're following a ketogenic diet. I really don't. The way I intake it mainly is as a topping or a dressing for some vegetables. Sometimes I'll cook a couple of pieces of bacon and have them with some eggs. And personally, I'll cook them in the frying pan. Use a little bit of that grease that's in there with some added butter to cook the eggs. How good's that?
That's good. You also do that with sausages.
Yeah, but you don't see any sausages here either. Some good point. I used to eat a lot of spinach and sausage. The sausage and the spinach really have been jacking up my stomach as of late, so I stayed away from it. In the front, you're going to see here a whole bunch of meat, right? We got brisket, which is about 6 pounds of the brisket. We eat this. My wife throws it in a crock pot. Sometimes we eat it like vaca frita. I've actually shared that recipe before with you guys. Sometimes we'll eat it with a modified ropa vieja, which is another Cuban dish. Or we just might have it straight up, put it in the crock pot with a bunch of salt, a bunch of garlic, pepper, and let the, doesn't even have any liquid. The fat renders out of there, and it's an amazing soup. The liquid is coming from pretty much the fat from the meat. It's seasoned, it's delicious, and the meat just tears apart. You don't even need a knife. Right here we got pork shoulders. Being Cuban, you gotta eat pork. Even though I know now in Cuba, normally all you could have was pork because they don't allow you to kill your red meat and eat it. But now there's not even that much pork. So we just came back from Cuba, which is sad. But being Cuban, we love our pork. And then we have beef loin flat meat steak. I really, really enjoy this cut of steak. I think it reheats very well. And we eat this with fajitas, or we might have it with some
rice,
cauliflower mash, which we utilize the cauliflower rice to make, which is also something I should have noted before. But the cauliflower rice is great because it comes already chopped up, and it's really easy. You just heat it up, and you can make cauliflower mash in a matter of seconds. Maybe 120 seconds, which is
2 minutes.
So a matter of minutes. We got ground beef, 88% lean, 12% fat. That comes from Kirkland. I personally like purchasing it from Publix instead of Costco because Publix you can get a 75-25. Following a ketogenic diet, it's all about the what?
Fats.
Nailed it. Then in the back we got beef chuck pot roast, which is what we utilize to make carne con habichuela, which I talked about earlier. Or we might cook it in the crock pot just like we do the beef brisket, but it's a little different cut of meat, so you get a little bit of different taste with it. But this is just very versatile, and it's pretty cost effective. It's the pork and this bad boy, very cost effective. And then chicken, of course. We get chicken breast, and we have chicken drumsticks in the back. My wife might fry those up in some sapphire oil and or cook chicken soup. A lot of people will get on to me about the chicken breast and or the turkey that I eat, which I'll touch on in a second because it's a lean cut of meat. But when you're trying to get your protein intake and you're trying to meet a caloric intake at the same time and you're following a ketogenic diet, sometimes you don't have the calories to eat a fatty cut of meat and hit your caloric intake and your protein intake and your fat intake. Because the fattier the meat, the more calories it's going to have. But if you're just following the ketogenic diet to not be ripped, but be the optimal you, then you really don't have to worry about caloric intake too much. Of course, you could overeat, and that might be a reason why you're not losing weight. But if you're not overeating, you don't have to really be worrying about hitting a caloric intake goal. Just eat until you're full. But if you're trying to get a lot more lean, some people might even want to get ripped, then you have to worry about not only your macros, which are your carbs, fats, and proteins, which you have to worry about when you're following a ketogenic diet, but you're going to have to worry about the amount of calories that you're intaking. So sometimes lean meats can help you reach your protein intake while also allowing you to eat your fats and stay under your total caloric intake for the day. Now, in terms of this deli turkey that you see here, make sure when you're buying deli meats, or especially if you're getting it cut fresh, that it doesn't have honey or sugar added, because you will easily go over your carb intake for the day without even knowing it, because you think you're just eating proteins. But the thing is that the protein has sugar. And so that brings us to the back, which is the olive oil, which is mainly what we use to cook. Of course, if you're cooking with really, really high heat, olive oil might not be the best. We actually fry with some safflower oil. As you can tell, this bad boy is pretty much out. I think my wife found that one time at Costco, but I don't think she finds it on a regular basis there. I don't know. I got to ask her. Now, I use this because Stephen Fenney said so, and that guy's been doing the ketogenic diet, both following it and implementing it in his practice as a doctor and as a scientist for years, and he has not led me astray since the entire time that I've been following him, which is almost about 6 years now. And we found this. My mother-in-law actually found this. Alejandro showed them this, but this is Calavita roasted garlic extra virgin olive oil. This thing is delicious. Eating it by itself, or I might drizzle it on top of some vegetables that we've already sauteed or baked in the oven and just give it a little kick. Now we got two things that we sort of went around and I want to discuss. It's the pistachios and the nut bars. These two bad boys are delicious. But when I'm trying to cut weight and I'm trying to reach my goal or get a little bit leaner, I got to cut pistachios out and I cut the nut bars out. Now, once I reach my goal, I can reintroduce them. But the thing is they're easy to overeat. When you're following a ketogenic diet, nuts, we got walnuts and pecans there, but they spilled everywhere, so I can't have them at the table. But the fattier nuts, walnuts, pecans, macadamia nuts, those are the ones you want to stay with. Pistachios, and especially cashews, are very dangerous. So try to have these fun snacks, even if they're keto friendly or keto safe foods, around at a minimum. Right now, I'm just kicking off the ketogenic diet, so I got these bad boys, but as I get closer to my goal weight, or if I hit a plateau, I'll have to stop eating these bad boys. Now, in terms of the nut bar, show them that thing. This is, in my opinion, a perfect sweet tooth craving fix. If you got one, Alejandro, how many carbs does it have?
According to the nutrition facts, it's only got 14 carbs.
So it's got 14 carbs. Now, how much fiber does it have?
Fiber. 7.
7. So that's 7 net carbs total. Again, if you are trying to optimize your weight, follow a net carb approach. If you hit a plateau or if you're trying to be more aggressive, don't follow a net carb approach and follow the total carb approach. And now to end this program, we are going to discuss Shakeology. Alejandro, hand me the Shakeology. I will drink this every night. It's cafe latte, and I mix it with, Alejandro, unsweetened vanilla almond milk and heavy cream, both keto approved. This Shakeology, a lot of people might think is not keto approved. Technically, I don't like to eat anything that has more than 9 grams of total carbohydrates while following a ketogenic diet, but I started drinking Shakeology years ago when I saw a movie called Fat, Sick, and Nearly Dead, I believe, when I wasn't really eating vegetables. Before I started the ketogenic diet, which now I eat a whole bunch of vegetables, even though a lot of people out there say it's all about proteins and fats. Anyways, I didn't stop taking this because it's got probiotics, prebiotics, it's got a whole bunch of superfoods, and it just makes me feel great. There's a noticeable difference when I'm not drinking this on a regular basis, and I drink it every single night. The thing is it might be a placebo effect, but guys, the placebo effect is real. So if you think something is helping you out, it is. Because as long as it's making positive vibes enter and leave your body, you're going to be on a positive track to keep moving forward. So when someone says, oh, it's just the placebo effect, it's not just the placebo effect. That's a real thing, okay? I mean, I believe in science, but the truth is that we're all human. So if we believe something, to us, it's true. Anyways, so I'll drink this nightly, and I eat about 40 to 60 grams. Try to keep it about 50 or less a day, and that's including Shakeology. I personally like Cafe Latte. I think this is really a phenomenal product in terms of taste, and I've had some bad tasting meal replacement and protein shakes in my life, and this, guys, to me, tastes delicious, but Alejandro likes
vanilla. Here it is. This is vanilla.
That's the vanilla one. Him and his brothers and his sisters drink that. He makes them for them at night. And, you know, I'd rather them drink that than a whole glass of Hershey chocolate milk, which they do on occasion. That's life, right? Eat as good as you can, as often as you can. Remember the 80-20 rule. If you're eating great 80% of the time, you're going to look great. That means 20% of the time you can cheat. But if you're following a ketogenic diet, especially if you started the ketogenic diet, it better not be the 80-20 approach. It better be the 100% approach for at least 4 weeks, in my opinion. The longer you can do it, the more fat adapted you'll be able to become. And then when you do decide to go 80-20, the more your body will be able to handle that 20% of cheating. Maybe you'll just go to 10% or 5% cheating. Whatever the case may be, the point is, if you're starting a ketogenic diet, do not abide by the 80-20 approach, because what will end up happening is right when you're getting into ketosis, you'll get right back out and you'll be living on the edge, which I've made a video about before. And that's when people say the ketogenic diet doesn't work or I feel like crap while I'm on it. And it's because it's not about the ketogenic diet. It's about the fact that you are eating enough carbs to keep your body reliant on the carbs that you're intaking, so your body's confused as to which fuel source it's going to want, and it's always going to go to carbs first because carbs are quick, easy, and if we don't get them out of the system, they become poisonous to our body. So we have to get them out as quickly as possible. So stick to the fat, moderate amounts of protein, heavy dark leafy green vegetables. We forgot about the mushrooms. Dang it. Talked about the mushrooms before. My wife's chicken marsala is an amazing dish. It actually makes me feel strong as I'm eating it. And there's no other way of describing that, honestly. I just feel like I'm getting stronger as I'm eating that dish. The mushrooms are in the front. Sorry, we forgot about those bad boys.
You forgot about it.
Why?
It's up in front with all the other vegetables. You would have called it a vegetable. It's a fungus.
And that's it. This is Rolando Rodriguez with xgames.com and
Alejandro Rodriguez.
Please let us know if you got any questions or comments down below. Please like, subscribe, and share this channel if you haven't done so already. I greatly appreciate it. The website again is that's the symbol, not the word, gains.com. And I hope you guys have a fantastic day. Peace.